Imagine this. A regular college kid sitting in his cramped dorm room late at night just writing code on his laptop. Today in this explainer, we're diving into a story that literally redefined how the modern world communicates. We're tracking the wild journey of Mark Zuckerberg, going straight from a college dropout to a billionaire leading a massive global empire. It's a story of vision, resilience, and honestly, a scale of growth that is almost hard to wrap your head around. To really get the gravity of this, you have to picture those early days. He had absolutely no big company backing him up, no massive funding rounds, no huge team of superstar engineers. He literally just had one thing, an idea. But, as you'll see, that single idea would eventually connect billions, yes, billions of people all over the planet. So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll kick things off with this definitely not ordinary childhood, head over to that famous Harvard dorm room, and look at the actual birth of Facebook. After that, we'll navigate the intense lawsuits, break down his insane billion-dollar decision, and finish up with the global empire we all know today. All right, let's jump straight into Chapter 1, Not an Ordinary Childhood. Born in White Plains, New York back in 1984, Mark was pretty much instantly different from the other kids. While everyone else was out playing video games, he was obsessed with figuring out how those games were actually built. The real game changer happened when his dentist dad brought home a computer. That one machine changed everything. Get this. By the time Mark was just 12 years old, he actually built his own messaging software from scratch. He called it Zucknet, and it was fully functional, actively used by his dad's dental clinic to communicate. While most 12-year-olds are just trying to survive middle school, this kid was shipping working software. Which brings us to Chapter 2. The Harvard dorm room. So Mark gets into Harvard, right? And the expectation is the usual. Study hard, get a high-paying corporate job, the whole 9 yards. But Mark just couldn't stop tinkering. One late night, he throws together a site called FaceMash. It was basically a platform for students to compare photos of each other. Well, it went completely viral. We're talking hours. It generated so much traffic so incredibly fast that it actually crashed parts of the campus network, and Harvard immediately shut it down. Mark took a ton of heat for this, but here's the crazy part. He wasn't discouraged at all. Actually, scratch that. It just fueled his next big idea. Moving right along to Chapter 3, the birth of Facebook. Because despite the massive backlash from that whole FaceMash stunt, he just kept his head down. By 2004, Mark and a tight-knit group of friends were huddled in their dorm room, building something that would actually change everything. They were laying the foundation for the ultimate social network.
At first, this new platform, Facebook, was exclusively for Harvard students. It had this very exclusive velvet rope vibe. But the demand was just electric. Within literally days, students from other colleges were begging for access. People suddenly realized, wow, we can actually map our real-world social lives directly onto the internet. Once they opened those floodgates, the platform's growth spread like absolute wildfire.
Let's hit Chapter 4, Navigating Controversies and Lawsuits.
As we all know, explosive success like that almost never comes without some massive headaches. And for Facebook, the contrast between the platform's skyrocketing growth and the behind-the-scenes chaos was intense. Mark got hit with major lawsuits, most famously the Winklevoss twins, Cameron and Tyler, who flat out accused him of stealing their entire concept. So picture this. You've got complex court battles, insane media pressure, and mounting controversies all crashing down at once. To the outside world, it really looked like the whole house of cards might just collapse.
But amidst all that noise, all those legal threats, Mark did something fascinating. He just locked in. He completely ignored the media circus and stayed relentlessly focused on one simple mantra: build something people love. He figured, hey, if the product is something people absolutely can't live without, all the other stuff will eventually sort itself out. That brings us to Chapter 5, the billion-dollar decision. That laser focus led straight to a moment that would honestly test anyone's sanity. Imagine being a college kid and the tech giant Yahoo slides a genuine offer across the table to buy Facebook. The price tag, $1 billion. A billion with a B. Everyone in his circle, advisors, early investors, friends, they were all screaming at him to take the deal. It was generational, unimaginable wealth for a project born in a dorm room. And his response? He just said no. He seriously turned down $1 billion. Why? Because when he looked at Facebook, he saw something infinitely bigger than a quick payout. He wasn't just building a trendy startup to cash out. He genuinely believed he was building a utility that was going to rewire the entire world. which perfectly sets up Chapter 6, Building a Global Empire. Looking back, his gut instinct was incredibly spot on. That exclusive little website for Harvard undergrads, yeah, it evolved into meta platforms. Today, this massive juggernaut owns the whole shebang. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. These aren't just fun apps anymore. They are literally the fundamental communication infrastructure used heavily by billions of people around the globe every single day.
Through this whole wild ride, Mark transformed into one of the most influential entrepreneurs on the planet. It's honestly a staggering evolution. Going from absolutely zero resources, zero corporate backing, just a guy hacking away on a laptop in a tiny room, to essentially living in the pockets of half the world's population.
When you look at his journey in totality, it's this crazy balance of intense struggles versus sheer stubborn willpower. He faced constant criticism, he hit massive roadblocks and failures, but his relentless vision kept him moving forward. He started with nothing but an idea, and whenever he got knocked down, he simply got back up and never gave up.
And people who change the world really do think differently. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with this thought. If you've got a huge dream, don't sweat what the critics say. Your beginning might be incredibly small, but what will your future be? Mark Zuckerberg's story proves that a simple dorm room idea can, in fact, change the world. So ask yourself, what are you going to build? Keep that curiosity alive. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.